Aloha, guys. You guys want to talk about YouTube's terms of service? I know I do. Shit's my favorite. It's just my favorite thing to talk about. My guilty pleasure right there. So yeah, today we're going to be talking about something incredibly boring, and that boring thing is in fact YouTube's terms of service. But I guarantee you, I promise you, this is actually a really important thing to talk about. It's incredibly relevant to what I do here on YouTube, and what everybody that does similar things to me does here on YouTube. So recently YouTube updated its terms of service to include harassment and cyberbullying rules, things that YouTubers need to follow unless they want to be terminated on the site, which is always fun. Now, given how broken YouTube's current system is and how easily it's abused, this is genuinely scary shit. And it's genuinely scary shit because the qualifications as to what qualifies as harassment and cyberbullying are incredibly vague. Did my fucking monitor really go off? You know what, fuck it. I'm not gonna edit that, I'm not gonna reshoot this. Just let it go back. Bam, there it is. Fixed. So let me show you what I mean by, oh, this is incredibly vague and anything could qualify as this. We want you to use YouTube without fear of being subjected to malicious harassment. In cases where harassment crosses the line into malicious attack, it can be reported and will be removed. In other cases, users may be mildly annoying or petty and should simply be ignored. So right off the bat, they're making a distinction. There are videos that are simply mildly annoying and just simply petty, and those are fine by terms of service. You should just ignore those. But then there are other videos that qualify as harassment and malicious attack. Now, who are the people who dictate what videos qualify as what? Your guess is as good as mine. But just look at how easily the DMCA and copyright systems are abused here on YouTube. This new harassment system is pretty much destined to be extremely abused. Now, what I do here on YouTube is a very specific form of content. I take other people's videos, articles, or opinions or statements, and I refute them in a way that's mildly amusing. Maybe I'm funny. I don't know. But within those refutations of other people's arguments, I do sometimes insult the person. Does the fact that there is now an insult within the greater argument now qualify my video as what? Is that harassment? Is that petty? What does that qualify as? You could use these justifications to take down anybody. Harassment may include abusive videos, comments, and messages. Abusive videos. Now, my last video got unmonetized, and that video was about like how people take mass shootings like the one in Orlando and use it as a scapegoat to talk about video game violence. That video was unmonetized because the subject matter is offensive. So that's a thing that can already happen on YouTube without these things in place. So if somebody saw that video and thought, oh, this is abusive to Islam, this is abusive to the Islamic community, am I terminated? Revealing somebody's personal information. You see, this is something that I actually totally agree with, but it's also something that's clearly defined. Somebody's personal information is a very, very strict thing. It's a very, very identifiable thing. Oh, that's information that I didn't want out, that you put out. You've just broken terms of service. Everything else here isn't clearly defined. Harassment? Fucking, disagreement? Everything else is vague, but then you have things like this that make total sense, so I don't... Maliciously recording someone without their consent. Maliciously? Whatever, I'll let that slide. I don't know how somebody could prove that I maliciously recorded somebody without their consent, but, alright. Making hurtful and negative comments / videos about another person. See, this is the big one. Imagine for a moment you're Anita Sarkeesian, right? Imagine for a moment that you make a very, very controversial web series about feminism in video games. And then somebody else makes a video about your video showing how you're wrong on several points, showing a bunch of factual inaccuracies, calling into question your character using videos of you from the past. That would be considered by Anita Sarkeesian to be hurtful and negative, would it not? Criticism is hurtful and negative, isn't it? I mean, nobody wants to be criticized, but critique is allowed. Incitement to harass other users or creators. Here's a fucking big one. I get told all the time that when I make a video response to somebody, I am inciting harassment because then I'm telling my audience to go to them and be mean to them, which is not what that means. But people argue it regardless. So anything you make criticizing anybody else, if your audience then takes it into their own hands and says, you know what, I'm gonna go leave mean comments on this person's video because Chris doesn't like the person, or Chris made a video refuting the arguments of this person, I'm gonna go be mean in their comment section, then that means that I'm inciting harassment, even though I never actually incited harassment. There are far too many vague arguments that could be used to prove, quote unquote, prove that these vague rules have been broken. It's far too easy to be abused. If incitement to harass had a specific definition, if it was like, you can't tell somebody in your videos to go attack other people or go leave mean comments on other people's videos, I totally agree with that definition of what that means. But if it simply means that anybody that is accused of inciting harassment is then guilty of it, then there's a problem. The only thing here that I can even remotely identify as a very strict and very specific, very easy to interpret rule is revealing somebody's personal information. So 6 out of 7 of these new rules are entirely vague and have no basis for which they can be accurately defined or unbiasedly defined. I don't know, guys, this is pretty ridiculous. I just kind of wanted to talk about it. This isn't a real video, by the way. This isn't like a, oh hey, it's a new Chris Ray Gun video. This is just something I felt like I needed to talk about. I am working on a couple of new things that should be up soon. I'm working on my 100K video. You guys are blowing my subscribers up. I was at 89 the other day, and now I'm at like 91. Slow down a little bit. I need time to make this 100K video, guys. I need a little bit of time here. Oh, also, I wanted to thank you guys because you guys really liked that Kill Me shirt. That Kill Me shirt sold really well. It's not available anymore. It will be up later, I think in mid-July it'll be up again for people to get if you didn't get it already. I don't know how Teespring works. The whole campaign thing really freaked me out. I didn't know I had a limited time to sell things. It was weird. I messed up. I made it too short. It will be available in the future. But I wanted to draw attention to a new shirt that I made. That you guys inspired me to make it. It's a shirt with a picture of me drinking myself to death with bleach. So if you've ever wanted to wear a shirt with a small Puerto Rican man drinking cleaning product until he dies, well, there's a new market. The market's finally appealing to you. I'm fucking. Am I retarded? Why am I stuttering this much? So yeah, that shirt's going to be available for a limited time, so if you want it, if it's something that interests you, go ahead and check it out. And also I got a shirt with my logo on it. I don't know why people would want that, but it's there for you if for some reason you do. Anyway, that's it. New videos coming. I'll see you guys later.